Hello everyone, it's Lel, and it's time to talk about episode 33 from Hirogaru Sky PreCure, the arrival of Majestic Kurunikurun, the book, a new group attack, and what a group attack, baby. Oh my god. First of all, I want to say that I was really surprised with this episode, in good ways and in bad ways, and I'm going to share both during the video. Just getting it out of the way, I was really expecting some sort of lore in this episode, and we did not get that at all. But I'm gonna talk a little bit more about that later on. For now, let's focus on what happened, because I feel like there's one thing about Hirogaru Sky, which is something very precious, which is Hirogaru Sky focuses a lot on the family relationships between the members, between the cast of the show. And I feel like sometimes we're expecting the story to be huge and the villains to be like, to have this super motive. But the real focus on Hirogaru Sky is the family dynamic from this team, from this group. And on that, they are really, really delivering. And I was not expecting Mashiro to be the one to lead it all in this episode. And it ties in very well to her face that we saw in the last scene of last week's episode, episode 32. So this is perfect construction of Mashiro's character. I say this and I will say this again. She is, to me, the best constructed character in Hirogaru Sky. So we start the episode with Elle and Mashiro playing. Elle is very happy that now she is Kira Majesty. She was playing, pretending to be Kira Majesty. It was very cute, but then they end up going to Skyland. Everything is very fast. They go to Skyland. Yo-Yo is working and researching something specific, that specific island that surfaced and appeared a week ago in Skyland. So she's researching, she is trying to study it, but she hasn't found a way to enter. And I really liked that while she was telling what was going on, we already saw the girls going there, because this episode was very fast paced. We saw very little of the king and the queen interacting with Elle. Elle was very happy around them. But what really mattered was the exploration of the cave and everything else. And so it was all very fast. They went there and there was a message written in a Skylandian language, and Purewing was able to read the message. It was very nice because those are little touches on characteristics of certain characters that they do not forget to always stress them out, because this means that they are paying attention to what they're writing and they're paying attention to the construction that they're doing with each character. I love it. I feel like it's just so good to see Hirogaru Sky going deep in characterization like this. I find it incredible. And so when Elle touches that big blue wing, the path opens and they're ready to go inside the cave, but Mashiro doesn't want to. And the construction of that scene was very interesting. Mashiro stayed behind the blue the blue wing, and the others tried to go in. So there was a barrier between them. I love that. Their hearts were not in the same place since last week's episode. Mashiro was the odd one out, and she still is the odd one out. She wants to protect Elle. She doesn't want Elle to be in danger, and it's very nice that at that moment, it's with Ageha that the dialogue happens. And again, lovely characterization of the characters, because Ageha knows Mashiro very well. They're very good friends, and also she is able to understand and read the situation well by being the oldest. She wants to validate Elle's feelings. Elle wants to fight. Elle wants to research. Elle wants to know more about herself, which is what she was longing for by going inside the cave. Elle is a magical baby, so she's probably not as versed and thinking of the situation as we do, because we are adults or teenagers, so it's a different way of seeing the situation. But still, we need to be close to her. We need to protect her and help her in this journey, you know. So I found that very lovely. I found that very on character with Ageha, and they went in, they started searching for a place to go, and Elle started to create paths. It was very funny when she created that platform. It really reminded me of video games, of like platform games, adventure games. It was very cool. And then they were able to get in a place. They reached a place in which Elle was, or like teenage Elle was in the wall. And when she interacted with it, all the other Hirogaru Sky members appeared in the wall as well. I love that. It's like they are not only following history, they're also creating history. Love that moment so much. It was so beautiful to see. And Yo-Yo was with them at that moment, but then they ended up being transported to another room, which is PreCure exclusive. So they got there and they were able to find the Majestic Kurunikurun, or the Majestic Chroniclon. And when they got it, they couldn't open it. Elle couldn't open it, and Ageha couldn't open it either. They didn't really know how they could work on that. And then Minotaur appeared, Minotaur being controlled again, and he started fighting the girls. And I really like that first moment between Minotaur and Sora, and Curious Sky actually looking at him and saying, look, I want a fair fight. You want a fair fight. Don't let it control you. But he was too far gone. Unfortunately, it was kind of painful to watch Minotaur. And I feel like they gave him such intense scenes in this episode. I feel like the animators of this episode really loved Minotaur, or working with Minotaur, and some of his scenes felt really hot. Oh my god. Seeing him getting buffer and stronger and even like dripping dark energy. Oh my god. They were not allowed to go that far. And the girls transform, Majesty transforms, and they start fighting because Minotaur cannot hold himself back. They need to fight. And the fighting scene started with a bang. I was like, oh my god. I thought last week's fighting scene was the best. This might be the best. Because it was so cool. We had so many cool, not so many, but we had like, the start of it was so intense. It was so nice seeing Curious Sky jump in and try to punch. The way Cure Prism was shooting. Sky and Butterfly dividing and confusing. Majesty fighting. Oh my god, that was so cool. Really, really loved that first moment in the fight. But then it was so fast. Like, I really hoped that they went all in a little more in the fighting scene, because at that little starting moment was very cool. But then something nice happened, and I feel like it was an intelligent way of playing with the plot of the moment. Minotaur was getting stronger. He was like drinking under energy, and the girls ended up getting separated by his attacks. So we got Majesty and Prism on one side, Sky and Wing on the other side, and Butterfly by herself. I feel like this is important because of two reasons. The first one is that Majesty and Prism were having a little thing. Like, Prism was so scared and she really wanted to protect Majesty, and that's what was going on at that moment. And so when Minotaur started attacking, the book actually responded, and the book showed the way to the girls. And there were only two people there that were able to read what the book was saying, because it's a Skylandian book, Wing and Sky. So they were together, so they read what the book was saying. That was cool. And the book was actually talking about the fact that they had to get together and they had to connect their hearts as one. And so Wing got Sky and Butterfly and brought them to the altar that Majesty and Prism were in. And they tried to connect their hearts, but obviously something was missing, and it was Prism. Look, I just have to say, I really love this moment. I was wishing for a longer fighting scene, but I love this scene as well. You know, it was in the middle of the fighting scene, but I really love it. It was full circle, and I was not even remembering what happened in the 5th episode from Hirogaru Sky, because right at the start of the season, Prism wanted to fight alongside Sky, but Sky did not want Mashiro to endanger herself. And now we have a situation that is similar. Prism, or Mashiro, doesn't want Elle to endanger herself. I do think it's a little different because Elle is a baby, But Mashiro is forgetting that Elle is a magical baby and she is very powerful. So Mashiro wasn't able to read the situation at all, or Cure Prism wasn't able to read the situation because she was super worried about Majesty, or about Elle, the baby that she's taking care since the start of the season. And right now, all that she wanted to do was to stand up and protect her. But she couldn't do it. She was too scared, and Minotaur was too strong as well. And Majesty was able to open up and share that with her. But I forgot to say one thing. When Prism was sharing what she was thinking, Minotaur was attacking, and he was almost breaking the shield that the Kuronikurun created. And when she was sharing her feelings, Purewing looked at her and said, "Really? Are you doing this now?" Like, okay, we're in a desperate situation. And I also feel like this is perfect characterization. Purewing is the youngest member from the Hirogaru team, and he doesn't really have a thoughtful look towards others. The sense of empathy that Wing has is very different from the other girls of the team. It also happened when Kuriskai lost her powers, or Sora lost her powers in the middle of the season, and now it happened again. He wants things to be practical and objective, and the girls are not able to be like that. I mean, Mashiro and Sora were not able to be like that. He was expecting them to, but they were not. Their feelings were in the way, and they had to resolve what was bothering them before they moved on. And I like that they gave this role, to have this role for the youngest member, because he is still learning, and especially a member who isn't part of society like the others. He doesn't go to school, he doesn't have like this big connection with humans, and it seems that his connection with the birds in Skyland was also limited somehow, because he suffered a little bit on Skyland as well. So his sense of empathy isn't the same as the others. He sees things in a different and practical way. And I do like that. You know, it's a little cruel, it is, but he is still gonna learn. He's very young, he's still gonna learn. And so we have Sky at the end showing Mashiro that Mashiro went through that path as well. Sky went through that path, and Mashiro showed her a different way. And now Mashiro is on that path, and it's time for Elle to show her a different way. Mashiro is worried. Mashiro wants to protect her, but Elle also has powers, and Elle also wants to fight alongside them. And I really love that at that moment, what was the catalyst was the fact that Elle was able to stand up and protect all of them, and then Butterfly rushed in and created her own shield together with Majesty. They all held it together. It was very cool. I love how Butterfly's shield actually works, even though it's the power of everybody, but still very cool. I love it. And so they were able to connect their hearts as one, because Mashiro was the one that was missing, and now she was able to understand Elle's feelings as well. And so the Kuronikurun, or the Chroniclon, appeared, and a new attack was born. A group attack was born. And what a beautiful group attack this is. I love it. It's incredible. I think it's one of the prettiest PreCure attacks. I love it. I love the book. I love the pen. I love the effects. I love Butterfly being very diva. I just love this attack very much. I feel like it's really, really incredible. And it was able to purify Minotaur 100%. Oh my God, Minotaur was like super, super purified. I love that. And so at the end, we see the girls talking to Minotaur. Minotaur says now his warrior spirit is back. And he, you know, shakes hands with Sora, and he leaves Minotaur goodbye. And he says that he will help them in the future. That makes me very hopeful for a next appearance of Minotaur. I'm pretty sure he will appear again after the way he spoke to them and said that he will help them in the future. So I'm pretty sure he will appear again. Oh my God, that's very exciting. And so at the end, they were really able to reconnect, and Mashiro and Elle had such a cute scene, or Majesty and Prism had such a cute scene at that moment. Oh my God, that was so, so, so cute. Dear God. I love that so much. What a cute moment. What a family. And so I really think that the highest point of Hirogaru Sky is the family relationship between this team. Like they really feel like a family. They really feel like a unity. And, you know, families, sometimes they don't see eye to eye. And in this case, it was all in good faith. It was all because Mashiro was really worried about L, and that makes a lot of sense. So another thing that I want to say is that, as I said before, I was really expecting some sort of lore towards L and her power. We got none. It was just L's adventure. It was just a new group attack. And I feel like there is still something missing in the story from Hirogaru Sky. I do understand if they want to focus this heavy on the family aspect, it's really paying off. It's really being gorgeous. But I also feel like they could give us some tidbits of the story here and there and not leave it all to the end of the season. I feel like this is one of the things that happened with Delicious Party, and they did not have time, or they did not want to cover everything. And so the story was missing lots of things. And I feel like Hirogaru Sky has lots of potential, because every time Hirogaru Sky gets serious, gets like powerful, it just gets so good, like it was in this episode. You know, this episode was gorgeous nonetheless. And there was a scene that makes me hopeful. When Minotaur was losing, when Minotaur lost the battle and was purified and now probably won't work with Under Empire anymore, Skeerhead was watching everything, and Skeerhead said that everything that happened was part of his plan. So he probably sent Minotaur there because he knew that the Chroniclon was there, and he wanted the girls to awaken this new power. He wanted Majesty to get stronger. He wanted the Cures to get stronger. So this makes me wonder, Skeerhead has a good plan in his head. So if we have a villain that is creating and crafting a plan like that, probably the story is good. So here's me really expecting a good, powerful moment out of the villain side and out of the story as well. There are lots of mysteries towards L. Maybe this is not the time for them to tell it, but I was really hoping that we could see a little bit of it in this episode. But I also like the idea of history being made. So here's my hero corner of episode 33. I really liked that scene in which L saw the panel with Big L, and when she touched it, it became a panel with the 5 members from the Hirogaru Sky PreCure team. I love it. As I said before, it's not only them watching history. No, they are making history. They are writing history. Hirogaru Sky is being written in front of us, and I love that. I really, really like it. And obviously, the Kurunikurun attack is amazing. I love it. Majestic halation is gorgeous, but, you know, I feel like that scene really got me. There are lots of great scenes as well with Majesty and L. Majesty and Prism, or L and Mashiro. It was really adorable. This episode was full of adorable moments. Anyways, what was your hero corner? Please leave in the comments. Let's keep talking about it. Anyways, babies, this is it for now. I want to take this little time to thank the members of the Magical Cinnamon channel. If you are a member, thank you very, very much for your support. And if you've watched the channel, thank you so much as well. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye-bye.